Introducing the Ozone 7 Vintage Bundle, which includes Vintage EQ, Vintage Compressor, and Vintage Tape. I'm going to use each one of these modules on a track I'm mixing, first on the vocal and then on the bass and drums, using some true New York style compression to give these tracks some vintage warmth, punch, and character. Let's start with the vocal. Now, the Vintage EQ replicates the subtle curves, unique controls, and musical sound and soul of both the EQP1A and the MEQ5, two classic Pultec equalizers from the 1950s. iZotope has combined them into one single, extremely flexible mixing tool. Now, the vibe I was going for Travis's vocals, EQ-wise, was to open them up, let them breathe a little bit. Let's hear them before and after I did any EQ work. So here's before.
I'm the nice guy, about to take a bite-sized chunk out of the right size lifestyle, you know.
And here's after.
I'm the nice guy, about to take a bite-sized chunk out of the right size lifestyle, you know.
So again, I wanted to open them up and in a way decant the vocals a little bit. And I did that by adding a low boost at 45 Hertz, a high boost at 12,000 Hertz, another boost at 2,000 Hertz, and a low mid boost at 300 Hertz. And if I want to, I can go into mid-side mode and do some mid-side processing. Now, the Vintage Compressor is a feedback compressor in the style of classic compressors like the 1176 and the LA2A. It's deliberately broadband as opposed to multiband, so it can react in the same way those classic compressors would to an audio event. It's got variable tilt control and program-dependent release control. Now, the sound I was going for the compressor on Travis's vocal was a punchy one. I wanted to control the peaks, but I really wanted to take advantage of the percussive nature of his voice. Let's hear this bypassed and then unbypassed. So here's no compression.
I'm the nice guy, about to take a bite-sized chunk out of the right size lifestyle, you know.
And here's after.
I'm the nice guy, about to take a bite-sized chunk out of the right size lifestyle, you know.
It's worth mentioning again that we can do some mid-side processing here or just stick with stereo. I have my threshold pulled down to about minus 21.3 dBs, ratio at 8:1, attack at 50, a slow release, and this is where it gets interesting. I've chosen sharp mode. Now, the mode selector adjusts the signal-dependent internal ballistics of the Vintage Compressor and changes its overall sonic character to suit the type of music I'm working on. In this case, I've chosen sharp, which provides crisp dynamics and a greater emphasis on all the transients, while keeping the body of the signal under control. That's exactly what I want. I want to take advantage of the percussive nature of Travis's vocals. After all, he's spitting bars. I want to reflect that in the compressor and really bring out the attack of his vocal. Now, I also have auto gain compensation on. And with this on, we can automatically bring audio levels to a level comparable to the unprocessed audio, behaving almost like a smart makeup gain that adapts to the mix over time. Now let's check out Vintage Tape, the last link in our chain. I've chosen the Drive preset from the preset folder and made a couple of adjustments. Now, Vintage Tape gives your track the warmth and color a tape machine would without the nasty byproducts like flutter and crosstalk. Let's do another bypass, before Vintage Tape and after. Here's before.
I'm the nice guy, about to take a bite-sized chunk out of the right size lifestyle, you know.
And here's after.
I'm the nice guy, about to take a bite-sized chunk out of the right size lifestyle, you know.
Now, the distortion and the warmth is going to help Travis's vocal poke out amid the bass and the drums. That's exactly what I want. I have my input drive set pretty high here. I have my bias up here, and this just changes the distortion curve. I can put it low, I can put it high. I have my speed set to 30 IPS, inches per second, but we can set it to 15. I'm introducing some warm, even order harmonics. I'm really emphasizing the low end here, giving a bit of a bump, and the high emphasis is somewhere sort of maybe 2/3 of the way up. And this just, again, gives the track a bit of distortion, a bit of dirt, helps it kind of poke out. So now that we've done this entire signal chain, let's listen to this vocal before and after all of our processing in the mix. So here's all our processing on the vocal bypassed, so no effects.
I'm the nice guy, about to take a bite-sized chunk out of the right size lifestyle, you know.
And here's after.
I'm the nice guy, about to take a bite-sized chunk out of the right size lifestyle, you know. Young man with some plans to be numero uno. Got a family support, care less about a two-door.
Now, let's take care of that bass and those drums. I have a return set up here called NYC, and that stands for New York City, well in my case, New York style compression. What I've done is I've placed, in this order, a Vintage Compressor, and then afterwards, a Vintage EQ. The compressor, I've chosen the pumping preset from the preset menu here. I made a couple of small tweaks. And for the EQ, I've added a bump at about 100, and I've added a boost at about 10K. And what I'm going to do is slowly feed the bass and the drums into this New York style compressor to really help them pop out and punch through.
I'm the nice guy, about to take a bite size chunk out of the right size lifestyle, you know. Young man with some plans to be numero uno. Got a family support, care less about a two-door.
So here's before.
I'm the nice guy, about to take a bite size chunk out of the right size lifestyle, you know.
Here's after.
I'm the nice guy, about to take a bite size chunk out of the right size lifestyle, you know.
Let's throw the vocal in for good measure.
I'm the nice guy, about to take a bite size chunk out of the right size lifestyle, you know. Young man with some plans to be numero uno. Got a family support, care less about a two-door.
And there you have it. Vintage warmth and character with all the modern control and flexibility you'd expect from an iZotope product.